Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Welcome
Bum,
back,
bum,
party
bum, bum.
people, to Dance Specific Talks. Today, we have a guest. No one else
Yes.
than Annosh from Gothenburg.
Whoop, 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 whoop,
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
whoop. So
And
happy to be here.
I am so happy to have you here. My dear co-host Sebastian couldn't be present today, but we decided to do this interview with you anyway because
Hmm.
I was in Sweden a few weeks ago to do a performance at your first storytelling event.
Yes.
I am so excited. So today we are going to talk a little bit about how you as a dancer, you have organized many types of events, not just dance events
Hmm.
for the record.
No.
And I have some questions about that because I think that we are a lot of dancers out there that tend to just be like, okay, if I want to organize something, then it needs to be something that I've seen before. And you
Mm.
have gone out of your way to actually create a lot of things that haven't been done before. So I have a tons of questions for you. And then we're gonna watch a little piece of my solo that I did. And I would love to hear from a viewer's perspective how it was because it was my first time doing a storytelling piece like that, thanks to you.
Yes.
Bam. That's the
Bam. I'm
plan for
ready.
today. But before we get
Hmm.
into it, I mean, we are best
Mm.
friends and we have known each other for a very long time. But for people who don't know you, how would you describe who you are and what you do today?
Interesting. My name is Annosh. I am a dancer, but today I would say that I'm seeking depth in everything that I do. I would describe myself as a seeker of like anything deep, anything real, anything that I haven't like explored before. So
Mm.
that makes me go into different types of paths. So I can't really say that I'm one thing. I'm just a seeker, I would say.
I would love
Yes.
love to call you a scuba diver. Went from snorkeling to scuba diving. Yeah, all
Yeah,
the way down in the deep.
definitely. All the way down, always. Within
Yeah.
myself, within others, within every passion that I have. And dance just happens to be the biggest one. That like
Mm.
since the second I saw it and felt it in my body, it just become deeper and deeper. And I'm a Pisces, which means if I don't swim, I die. So everything
Mm.
I do have to continue to change and develop, and otherwise it just I die like
Mm.
spiritually. So that's why my dance journey has been looking a lot of like this.
Mm.
I need to keep swimming.
For
Mm.
people who don't see you on video and just listening to the podcast, Anna just did a lot of
Yeah.
wavy moves, just like the Pisces are doing.
Yes.
I think it's so interesting because you have had a very parallel path of being both somebody on stage, but also somebody behind stage. And I'm
Yes.
not talking about like behind stage as an in light technician or whatever, but actually as an
No.
organizer.
Yeah.
And I mean, you and I have worked on many battles together. One time you also organized your own battle out of the theme movies. And I remember that
Yeah.
being like super fun. And it was basically, yeah, like how would you describe it? It was a battle where movies were the themes of each round.
Yeah. Character awakened, we called it. So yeah, just to explain my organizational side too, like I'm really into the hip hop culture, but not only for the dancing part of it or for like the aesthetics of it, but also because of the community organizing part of it. I'm really interested in like local community organizing and political work of different kinds. So I met with this group who was called Staden är din, like the city is yours, and I became a part of that group. And together we organized different types of events. So it was dance events like battles and stuff like that, but it was also like conversations and different type of lectures about complex issues in society and stuff like that. We try to mobilize and educate together with the people who use this culture every day. So that was basically what we did. And well, we felt like, okay, we've done this for a few years and we want to make our last event and we want to go out with a bang and we want to just have fun. And I was like the only active dancer in that group at the time. And I said, like, I'm so tired of the old shit, you know, I'm so tired of seeing people just skills. I want people to show something else. I want people to be able to make a fool out of themselves or to experiment or just, you know, have fun. So we came up with an idea of doing a character battle where every participant got a character from a movie and had to dance as such character. So yeah, that was a really fun time. And also our crew was performing. We were performing as Harry Potter in that show too. So we were also there. So yeah, so basically they got a character on the stage that they had to do a solo as. So it became something very different. So this type of storytelling through dance has been alive within me since then. But I also got to say that I'm derailing a little bit now, but I also got to say that when we used to practice as a crew, because you and I, we had a crew called Fuse Fam. I remember we also had a lot of exercises when we had our practices where you had to portray an emotion, a feeling, or a person or a character, because it was always important for us to be able to make the audience feel something or see something or laugh or whatever. So yeah, I really like that a lot.
Yeah, no, me
Character
too.
thing.
Me too. And what I also like with it is that what you're saying is that basically the storytelling element is not something new. However, it is new in the way that like we can do more type of events where we're pushing dancers out of their comfort zone and into this more unknown, more challenging aspect, because it's not just about hitting the beats. Sometimes it's about actually how do you make the audience feel like. And I mean, you also organized simply like the fifth element type of events as well, where you only focused on the fifth element of hip hop, which is knowledge, and what you're saying about like how can we enrich in our knowledge, how can each one teach one, how can we spread awareness and so on. And what I really liked with the event that you just did now is that it kind of combined all of that, and dancing was a little part of it, but it was way broader this time. So can you tell a little bit about how you became the organizer of Välkommen Hem, which means welcome home, the event that happened in Gothenburg?
Yes. So I've had this idea for a long time. It started, I think, during COVID, maybe 2020 or 2021, something like that. And we used to talk about it, you and I too, that I felt like I wanted to create events that feels like being in somebody's living room, because I want to create that intimate feeling of being able to see something like an art piece and then really feel it and talk to the people around you and even talk to the artist about it. I really felt like drawn to a different type of experience when it comes to art that is really more deep and small maybe, and really like the right people for this event is going to be here. It doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to be 300 people, 500 people, 1,000 people coming. Maybe it's just 50 people, but the people who are there are really invested in experiencing. So when I got a new job, like last fall, I went to an interview and I got asked a lot about what I could bring to the table in this new job that I have. And I was talking a lot about my organizing from before. And this interviewer also knew about the organizations that I've been working with. And then I was like, I told her even in the interview, like, I have this idea and I don't really know how to put it in words yet, but I want to create events where people really talk about issues that are really maybe existential or, I don't know, deep and complex in some ways. And when I got the job, I met a coworker, like the co-host of this event, and she was when I told her, like, I'm really interested in storytelling of different kinds. Like I'm really interested in telling a story that makes us all feel like we can relate. Like I feel when I listen to music or read a book or poetry or something, that I feel like, oh my God, we're going through this journey of life together and all these feelings. And she was like, I'm really into that too. So we just looked at each other. We're like, should we just do it? So yeah, so that's why this idea of welcome home was birthed. And she has more of this philosophical perspective of like, what does it mean to long for home in a like philosophical level or existential level? Like, how do we talk about this feeling? Why are we not feeling at home? Why do we need to decorate our home so it looks like nobody lives there, just so we're able to sell if we need to sell it? Why do we not feel at home in our own bodies? Like, why do we always need to change and fix? And, why are we so divided? Like, but also, like, are we really at home here? Like, we're only dreaming about a place far away, another country or another city or another life. Why can't we just feel at home and care and nurture for what we have here? And when we talked about these issues, we realized we think that this is like a collective thing. Like a lot of us, for different reasons, don't feel home. It could be because you had to flee. You had to pack up your bag and flee because your house got bombed. It could be something like that, but it could also be like, I've never really felt like I fit in. I don't know. I can find my place in the world, but it can also be like, I don't I don't feel my body. Like my body is not connected. My mind and my body and my soul is not connected, and I feel lost. So that's why we talked about the theme first, and I was like, I really want to portray this theme with different type of art. I want different type of artists to portray their story of home in their own artistic way, so we can reach all the people in the audience in different ways. Because somebody's going to get moved by your dancing, but somebody going to get moved from a story, and somebody going to get moved from singing. It's just different. And we need to show that we're all in this together in this room. We're all in this. And here in this room, we are home right here, right now. Like, so that was the vibe we wanted to create. Like, we're coming home together and we're like sharing this moment together. So yeah. And I was also like really tired of only doing dance because as you know, I like other type of art too. So yeah.
Yeah, I think as dancers we usually tend to think about dancing only in dance events. Like we either have a battle or a festival or a boot camp or a social evening with dancing. And so it becomes very narrowed down, or you go to a theater and you watch a whole performance for an hour and then you're done. And what I really liked with your event was that, like, just to paint the picture, you came into this, like, it's an old kind of factory looking building, like there's brick walls and there's like industrial kind of vibe going on, and then there's like 1 million plants, and on top of it all the furnitures are kind of vintage. You guys had like put out a lot of carpets on the floor. People were sitting in sofas. People were sitting on pillows on the floor. Some people were laying down, and it kind of immediately got you into that living room feeling. And then you decided to actually have a storyteller, a brilliant storyteller, like Catrice. We gotta give it up for Catrice.
Yeah.
Ah, Catrice Wortley. She's an
Yeah,
amazing woman and a storyteller from England, I believe. And she just kind of welcomed all of us. And right away, she put the tone on why we were here. And it was just such a genuine vibe right from the start. But what I also liked
yeah,
was that you portioned out the different acts. So we were not seeing a dance and a storyteller and so on in one go, but there was breathing room in between and there was like
yeah,
hangout time in between. And so I would say it was like 10-15 minutes and then 30 minutes break. And then it was like 10-15 minutes again, which also gave you this really nice time to connect with people around you in between the things that was happening.
yeah,
And I also really
yeah,
loved that you had the storyteller, you had me doing the dancing, but then you also had somebody doing a meditation. And it
yeah,
really also brought that feeling of like home can be something you watch, it can be something you relate to, but it can also be just coming back into yourself. And what a
yes,
daring move to have a meditation in the middle of an event in a bar. You know what I mean? But it
yeah,
worked. It
yeah,
worked so, so
yeah.
well. And
Thank
then you
you.
had a musician in the end who just like brought us all into, yeah, into his world, basically. I can't describe it in any other way. Um, that was such a special performance, and so many people just let it down their guard in his performance. And I don't know, like
Yeah,
I heard from my friends that was just like nobody knew what they expected. You guys purposely didn't put out a schedule. But just like in general, when you think about what you planned and how it turned out, was some of your biggest surprise moments, would you say, as an organizer?
I think the biggest surprise moment and also the hardest thing when you're organizing something is to let go of control. So what we did, because we wanted it to feel like a house party, like in somebody's living room, right? So therefore we wanted also the performers to feel like family or like friends. So we put a lot of effort on building relationships with each of and one of you guys. And we had like a one-to-one meeting first with every artist to see like, is this the vibe we're looking for? Like, are you feeling this? And in those meetings, we introduced the theme of like longing home and stuff like that. And we also, of course, explained like what the event is about and what we mean with this and stuff like that. So we had no idea how you would interpret home. We had not seen any performance beforehand. We hadn't even talked about to the artists about what they were gonna do. We only told you like if you need some help or if you want us to contribute in any way, please let us know. But that was it. So like the night before, my coworker Julia, she called me. She was like, "Are we really doing this? What we saying we're gonna do? Like, are we even gonna talk about the theme of like longing for home? Like, is that even something we cover? Like, because like the theme is like a collective longing for home."
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what? We just need to trust that our performers, our artists, that they are gonna, carry this theme. Because me and Julia, we didn't even grab the mic once. And you know me, you know I grab the mic if I need to grab the mic and I say something and I welcome people, but we purposely didn't. And every single performance had such a clear, beautiful, deep connection to the theme of home. That was like the shocker. So for me, I was also the audience the whole night because I had no idea what to see. And it was so beautiful to also give that trust to someone and they just like go with it, you know?
Mm.
So that was like the biggest whoa moment for me. Like, and afterwards, people came up to me when they were leaving and they talked to me about the theme that we didn't even present to them, but they had felt it during the night. So that was like, wow, we really managed to steer the ship right where we wanted it to go.
Yeah, this is so, so nice. Like, as I said,
Yeah.
I had a few friends there as well, and it was just like beautiful. We went through a whole journey. First, like they got, because I was the first act, and I didn't expect to emotionally touch a lot of people. Like I just,
Yeah.
because I never done something like that, right? Like we are so
Yeah.
used to with our crew perform a 3 minute 200% type of solo and then mic drop out. And now
Yeah.
I was asked to do like 10 minutes alone,
Yeah.
um and as you say, you just gave me the theme, and I had to like soul search what that theme meant to me. And I've been talking with Sebastian about it here on this podcast as well. Um, and I thought maybe we can just take a little sneak peek. It's not the best camera angle because I just kind of put up my phone. But maybe we can take a little sneak peek of
Yes.
how it looked
Let's do that.
like. And then I want to hear what you saw, because you're obviously someone who both know me but also um yeah, they both know me.
Yeah.
Let's see if you hear the sound here. Can you give me a thumbs up? Yeah.
Yes.
Turn up.
That. Okay, so it's just a little sneak peek, but
Yeah.
when you are in this, what is it actually that you kind of, when you were seeing it, because yeah, you had no idea what I was gonna do, but you have kind of got a little hint. What was your first reaction watching it?
My first reaction as like your best friend, right? Like I feel like I know you so deeply inside and out and all your different sides, but I didn't know you as a child. So for me, this short little bit when you were the kid with the teddy, I felt like I was there with you in your room when you packed your bag. Like for me, that was a really deep moment. I was really emotional already there because I just felt like, because I know about your childhood, because you've been telling me, but now I felt like I got to see it. I got to be there for a snippet. That's how well I think that you portrayed that side of you, that little T-zer, that kid, that child. So that was my first reaction. Like I'm sitting there in your room with you when you're packing your bag. And so yeah, I mean, like I know you. I was in my organizational like mode, but I still cried a lot because it was so. I got so moved from it.
It's funny because, in the beginning I was also like battling, am I gonna have text? Am I gonna pre-record my voice? Am I going to like explain what's happening? But I'm so happy afterwards that I didn't, because
Yeah.
it lets kind of, I hope that people felt that they could fill in their own story, more than be having it spelled out, so to speak. Yeah. No, I was very happy about that. Okay, so I'm moving on a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah.
Because then we come to this teaser. Yep. I
This
mean,
teaser, I know. This teaser is my, this is my ride or die. I know her. I know her so well.
yes, so you definitely know her. She's been the same training buddy
Yep.
for life.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so I'm gonna make you watch one little last snippet and then hear what you have to say about that.
Yep.
Let me see that. And it is this part right here. Ding ding ding.
Boom. Thank you.
Bam! Just a little ending.
Yeah. That last part with you like packing your bag for your daughter was like really emotional too. Of course, since I know your daughter too, and like she's just such a little traveler already, and it's also for me it felt like you ended it with making peace with having your home in your bag. Like now it's something beautiful to you. In the beginning, it was struggling. It was hard. It was something negative to be able to pack your bag all the time. But in the end, it was something beautiful that you wanted to give to your daughter. You wanted her to carry that on. So yeah, that was really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I do really feel that it's definitely what you said, like it just went from something so heartbreaking and like it just
Yeah,
ripped up from, your safe space all the
yeah,
time to suddenly like, okay, but what if you make the world your home? What if
yeah,
the
yeah,
countries are the different rooms and the people within your house are the people you meet when you're going out
yeah,
there in the world, your family. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
So beautiful. And I also felt
So,
like the dance culture, like the hip hop culture also gave you that, right? Like finding a place of home anywhere you go in the world with dance. So yeah, so beautiful.
so nice, so nice. Thank you for the
Yeah.
opportunity, for pushing me to do something new. How do you feel about keep on organizing? I mean, you're a dancer that also still stands on stages yourself, but in this case, you were definitely not on stage. You were like the facilitator of this event.
Yeah.
How do you see yourself moving forward?
Since I'm also like really into this community organizing type of thing, I want this to be a thing that continues and to grow and that grows and that like also it grows inside of people. So what we're looking for, like what we're trying to do now is to create different branches of this theme. We want people to also meet and maybe read about like existential issues or this theme about like having to find your home and stuff like that. And they meet in group and they discuss it like a study circle. And we also want people to be able to go to these types of events again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my daughter just peeked out the window and I'm like, oh, she's up from her nap. How nice. Hi. Um, yeah, no, I think it's so cool. And you're already making it happen. People are actually going to meet up in different like study circles, and that just
Yes.
seems to be amazing.
Yes.
So
And on,
I
on Monday, actually, we have this really cool thing when people are going to meet around a fire, like outside around a fire. And we're just going to send an email spontaneously to everybody who were there and ask people to join if they can. And there's like a girl who wants to do it voluntarily to like meet up and do the after discussion, like the after talk around an actual fire and be like, how do you feel about this? Like, what moved you and stuff like that. So people who are not organizing this thing are actually already organizing things within this theme. And that's exactly what we want. We want it to grow and continue, and people take a little piece of it and then continue and continue, you know.
Wow,
So
that's
it's
so
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That
know.
sounds so
I know.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it is.
So nice. I am like
Yeah.
so excited to see what the future holds. And if
Me
you could
too.
say one encouraging things for like maybe any dancer that is out there listening who maybe wants to create something outside of the box, what would you
Yeah.
say to them?
This is so funny because you actually developed a game for dancers about this. But I would love them to dig a little bit deeper within themselves to understand what dance is to them. Why are you dancing? What does it mean to you? And from that feeling, try to create something new with that. Maybe it is dance, maybe it is something else, but like what lights a spark inside of you? So for me, like I've been dancing for 18 years, many different types of styles. It stopped being about the steps and the techniques. Like there's only for a certain, you know, period of time you can find that really fascinating. I still do, of course, but you know, it's got to be something more to it. So that's what I would want to ask. Like, what is it to you? Why do you dance? Like, really? Yeah.
Yeah. And if you know why you're dancing, then you could create something out of that purpose. If it is healing, then
Exactly.
create something that is healing. If it's
Yep.
freedom, then do that. And talking
Yep.
about that, you mentioned the game. We're gonna play Move It.
Yeah.
So for people who don't
Up,
know
up, up.
what it is, it's a game that I designed out of this podcast. Boom. You opening it up and it has two sides to it. It has one deck of cards with questions. It has another deck of cards about moves and creative ways of moving. So if you want to check it out, you can go to movethatsoul.com. Bam.
You should.
And
It's great.
I would love to start asking you, Annosh, a question. So let me just mix the
Yes.
concept a little bit. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
Yeah.
Have you tried to please others through your dance journey? And if so, do you still do it?
Oh, yes, I have. I have for so many years tried to please others. I've tried to fit in. I've tried to mold and shape myself in a way that I thought that certain people within my network would like, or maybe they even expressed to me that this is the way you should move. And I tried that for such a long time. And guess what? It didn't work. And I don't do that anymore at all. Because I instead of doing that, I started like putting in time and effort to find my own language. But maybe that's also part of the journey. You need to learn a lot of technique and a lot of styles and a lot of different methods and ways of dancing. And then at a certain point, you need to start asking yourself, but who am I? What do I want to say? Or most importantly, how do I want to feel when I dance? You know, comes from the inside and out. But it didn't before. It came from the outside and in. So I just switched that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how when you start learning to dance, like we love dancing and we wanted to be better at it. So everything that we have pulled out from inside, now we were ready to add things from the outside in. However, that takes over the whole thing. And you're realizing, oh, I don't know anything without these people adding to my vocabulary from the outside. And you kind of end up diminishing what you already brought in the first place.
Yep.
And then you somehow need to kind of like exit the little wheel and and see what you have.
And you
now.
gotta also let people, and you gotta let people like you, and you gotta let people dislike you.
Mm.
Some people are gonna like the way you move. Some people are not gonna like it. Some people may have critique for you moving a certain way. And maybe in some ways they are right. And maybe in some ways they are not. But you need to stand for yourself and the way you're moving, and be intentional about it.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, that definitely answers that question. Thank you.
Yes. Should I ask you a question now?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. In which situations do you think I dance most honestly?
Ooh. I mean, as we just said, I feel like you are dancing honestly, like almost all the time these days. And that's interesting because that wouldn't have been my answer like 5 years ago.
No.
But now I do feel that you are honestly just being yourself, no matter if you have a salsa performance like you usually do these days, or if you are at home dancing and just doing a small video, or if you're, when you're teaching now at your feminine movement course. I just feel like, in every aspect of your dancing, you are right now dancing very honestly.
I'm happy to hear that. That means a lot to me.
Yeah. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Or do you feel like there's still like home is the safest place? Or would you say no?
I feel like I consider my body and my movement and my language an ongoing flow and journey of life. So wherever I am right now is where I'm at right now. Like, I don't try to please anybody else with my dancing. I just like, right now I'm here with my body. Right now my body wants to move this way. And since I know how to move my body in different ways, it's more about that feeling and that flow of dancing than it is to be like, I'm going to give a perfect solo, because I don't do that. I don't battle anymore. I don't even like try to prove myself in any type of situation. I'm more like, this is what I have to give right now. Tomorrow it might be something else, but today it's this. And that kind of, switched my perspective a lot. So I feel like I can't be dishonest because it starts like, okay, how do I feel? Where's my body at? But
I mean, the other day when we talked with each other, you basically said like it almost physically hurt you to dance dishonestly, which is so interesting.
Yeah, my body reacts directly now. Like, it's just, I'm also going through a journey of my body. I have had like a health issue that makes it hard for me to do anything physically like challenging for me, like lifting weights or going for a run or something that I would do. Like, I can't really push my body hard, but I can still use my body and move. So, and I feel like that's also meant to happen right now, because I'm really meant to even more dive into this way of dancing and moving. Yeah.
It's funny because that's kind of how I felt when I was pregnant. Like, in the end there, like, it was just so much easier to just dance however you wanted to in the way that suited my body. And that was easier than like having to go to the store, like, because there was just like a move that had to happen rather than something that I just wanted to do. So interesting. Thank you so much. I feel like this kind of wraps it all up. It's, if you lead with honesty, if you dare to just present what you have in the moment, not only can you dance like yourself and most on the honest version of you, but you could also technically organize things that are just in the moment. And what you just did was an event where you completely just trusted the moment, and
Yeah.
it became something so special. I know that everyone that was there was like, can we make this a recurring event? And I think that it's just so telling when you just let things unfold and be genuinely what it is in the moment, you end up creating magic.
Thank you. So happy to hear that.
Mm,
It felt
yeah,
magical to me too.
yeah,
I'm really proud of all of us who were there. Like, it really felt like we dared to dig deep, and I want that. I want that for us, and I want that as a community of dancers also. I want us to dig deeper.
yeah,
I really want that for us, because I know it comes with a lot of beautiful things
yeah.
when you dig deep, like you do in this podcast. You know,
Thank you.
I want us
Thank
to do
you.
that. Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
it's it's going to be an interesting journey coming up. So thank you for being our first guest since we restarted this podcast. Love you so much, and thank
Love you.
you.
Thank you.
Don't forget to click subscribe, comment below, and give us a rating or review. We have a Facebook page, YouTube page, and we are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and all the other podcast platforms. We also have an Instagram, so don't forget to tag us in your favorite episode and share it with the world, because we read all of it.